All right, everybody, welcome back. We're talking some more RV sales process today, and we have Kahlil Becker with us. Gonna do a live role play, and I love live role plays because what they allow you to do is work on your sales process A to Z, work on overcoming objections, and get just the process dialed in. So thank you for being with us, Khalil. Hopefully this helps you out, and I'm excited to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, Chris. I am nervous, but we're gonna push through it, and that's the
Eh,
point. Right?
That's okay. And I think in sales, a lot of people get nervous getting into it. A lot of people get nervous when they do role plays, and that's what stops them from doing it. But what I've found is it's really one of the best ways to get better at the deal. So getting through them nerves and just working through it is really the best way. And in sales, you feel them nerves in the deal, right? You feel them when you're talking to your customer. You feel it when you get to the numbers. You feel it when you start to do that trial close, maybe. And, you start to ask them, hey, is this going to be the right RV? And, they're like, well, we're not buying right now, right? That's typically what's going to happen, and especially in the market we're in right now in RVs, because prices have come up, the economy, inflation, interest rates, everything is increasing. So it's making it harder for RV buyers to pull the trigger. So, it's very important when we're dialing in our sales process, we're getting to that emotion and we're looping back on that so that we can close the deal. So, well, let's get started. What we're going to do is I'll be like a walk-in customer. You greet me like you would, run me through the sales process, and then after the fact, we'll go through some pointers and some things like that. So let's get going.
All right.
All right. So I walk in. Hi, nice to meet you. My name's Chris.
Hey, good afternoon, Chris. Have you ever been to Camping World before or bought with us?
I've never been to Camping World. No.
All right. Well, thanks for visiting us. We appreciate your business. Just to let you know how we do things around here. If you're looking for RVs, we like to find out your interest, your needs. So I'm just
Okay.
going to sit you down real quick, ask a very few questions. That way we can find out what you're looking for. Once we find something, I can look at my inventory, see if there's something out there that matches up. Well, if there is, I'll go out there, show you one or two of them. If you find the right RV for you, if you like it, we'll come in here and crunch the numbers. If the numbers make sense to you, you'll buy it. And if not, I wouldn't ask you to buy it. Is that fair?
Yeah, that sounds pretty fair. To be honest, we're not really buying. We're just kind of in the research stages. My wife and I were thinking about traveling, but we probably got about 10 years until then. So, really, we just wanted to walk the lot.
Yeah, we can walk the lot for you. I still want to find out your interests. I'll still ask you a couple questions. That way we can get that down. And if you don't need the numbers, that's fine. But we do like to get the numbers in front of you. That way you can pre-plan for it in the future. The state of the economy, you never know the way interest is going to rise or your bills might change. So just having the numbers in front of you, that way you can plan for it, is what we kind of like to do, whether you're buying or not.
Sure. Okay. Let's
Awesome.
do it.
So, oh gosh. So first things first, what kind of truck are you going to be using?
So right now we don't have a truck, to be honest with you. Um, we were thinking about, we've never really done it. So we don't know what trucks pull, what they don't pull, what kind of vehicle we need. So to be honest, I don't really know.
Gotcha. Are you going to be traveling with this truck or the trailer? Are you just going to be full time living in it? What do you plan on doing?
Well, we've never done it before. So we didn't know. We were thinking maybe a travel trailer, maybe fifth wheel, maybe motorhome. We didn't know. So
Okay.
that's kind of the reason when we're coming in, is to really learn what we're looking for, learn about the units. That way when we're ready to make a decision, we can buy something.
Do you plan on getting a truck? I guess is the question. Did you want a travel trailer or do you want more of a motorhome? That way you can just drive around and not have to worry about all that pulling.
Uh, Never really thought about it.
All right. What's your budget?
Well, I'm not sure, to be honest with you, because like I said, we've never really thought about where we're gonna go. We don't know how much these things cost. In 10 years, we don't know how much we're going to be making. So it's really hard to tell you what the budget might be for the purchase. I guess we probably talked about $500 a month would be probably doable, but like I said, we have no real idea.
All right. And is it just going to be you or you and your wife, or who's it going to be that you guys are going with?
Well, right now it's me and my wife. We're planning on having kids, but we don't have any yet, and we don't know when we're gonna have any. So I'm not sure. There might be some little ones with us, or if we do it, I guess sooner, then there might not be.
Okay. What about pets? You have any pets?
No pets. I mean, we have pets, but we're probably not gonna take them with us, just because just makes things hard.
Yeah, no problem. Since you do plan on having kids in the future, I can show you a couple bunkhouse models. That way you get an idea of that there. Um, let's see. And I guess when you guys I know you're going to be waiting on it for a while, but do you plan on cashing or financing at the time of your purchase?
We probably would well, we probably would finance it, my guess. We probably could pay cash for it, but I don't know if we'll want to take out that much cash for a traveling vehicle. So we probably would finance it.
All right. And then is it just going to be you on there, or is it going to be you and your wife as a co-buyer?
So hard to say.
I
We
got you.
probably would both be on it. That's typically how it goes, though.
All right. I'll just start with your name. Can you spell the first and last name for me?
Well, wait a minute. What do you need my name for?
It's just general info to get down here so we can follow up and, send you stuff in the future if you are still in the market for it.
I don't need you to send me anything. Yeah, I just really wanted to look at some RVs.
All right. Not a problem. Okay. And you've never had one before. So let's see here if there's anything on my inventory that matches up for you.
Okay.
All right, yeah. So I have a few bunkhouse models we can go look at here. Would you like a water before we head out?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so get your water.
Perfect.
All right, let's go head out to the lot, get on our golf cart, and we start driving out there. And then we pull them out to the lot.
Sweet. So what are we looking at?
We are going to be looking at a Coleman 24 bunkhouse. Did you also, I guess I didn't verify while we were inside, what footage are you looking for? Does it matter? You don't know yet still, or?
Well, like I said, we've never really been out there. We don't know what would make sense for us, I guess. So yeah, I'm not sure.
All right. Well, since we're driving by this guy right here, I'm going to stop so we can just take a gander at this. This is going to be our Coleman 17B bunkhouse. It's really good for people who just are starting off in the RV world. They don't know what they're looking for. They don't know if they want the full package, the luxury glamper type stuff. It's one of my favorite units to show first timers. So,
Okay. You said this was a 17BH?
Coleman 17BH.
Okay, perfect. This looks like a nice unit. It's kind of small though.
All right. Yeah, we can look at something here. We also have 24 bunkhouses, so 24 feet instead of 17 feet. Would that interest you?
Possibly.
All right, let's go take a look at that one there.
Okay.
All right, here's our unit this time. So if you want to jump in, basically everything's the same in here. You just got more square footage, as you can see. You have a dinette now. I'm sorry, you have a recliner chair in here now, whereas you didn't have that in the 17B. So it gives you more space, more things to do, more storage, all that kind of stuff. But same unit in a sense.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, this is a nice one too. What kind of truck would you need to pull these?
So for this one, you'd be looking at, let's see. So That's about 7,000 pounds, fully loaded. You would just need like an F-150,
Perfect.
1,500, F-150, something like that.
Okay. Cool.
So does this unit seem good so far? Is this catching your eye, or is there anything
Yes.
you would that don't like about it?
I mean, it's a pretty nice RV. Um, I like I said, we don't know when we're gonna be going. So, it seems like it might work. Um, but I don't know.
I'm stumped. I don't know.
All right. So we'll stop right here and we'll just one of the things that I think is going to help you is you're hopping right into the deal. Okay. And when you hop right into the deal, what happens is a customer feels like you're only in it for the commission, if that makes sense. Because you're only asking questions that have to do with them buying the RV, like what price, what budget, um, who's it going to be titled under? Typically I'm not going to ask someone what it's going to be titled under until I bring them back in for the numbers, because it doesn't really matter at the beginning of the sale. Because what you really need to do in the beginning is learn their needs, their wants, their desires, their emotions, so that you can connect the product with what they're trying to accomplish. And that's how you're going to speed someone's buying line up. Because like someone that's going to buy in 5 or 10 years, it's going to be hard to get them to buy today because they're not really thinking about it. Okay. Sales is an emotional game, right? We don't buy with logic, we buy with emotion. People will buy a new cell phone when they don't need one. People will buy a new car when it's too expensive. People will look at houses that are outside of their means simply because of their emotions. So we're not logical creatures by any means. So the way to close a deal in terms of RV sales is we have to get to the emotions so that it strikes up a feeling in our customer so that they feel like they need it now. And that's how we're going to get them to buy today. And that's how you should be structuring every sales process, is what I call a 1 day close. Because the goal isn't to get them to buy in 5 or 10 years. Because if we spend that much time in a deal, then when we finally get the commission, it's not worth as much. Does that make sense? Because you have more time in it,
Yeah.
right? So to become a top performing salesperson, we need to be able to spend the least amount of time in a deal and then close the deals quick, right? So when we get a customer in, we don't want to first go to the buying questions. We don't want to ask about title. We don't want to really ask if they're going to buy or finance. We don't necessarily care what kind of truck they might buy down the road. You know what I mean? Because if they buy an RV, now they got to figure the truck out, right? So really it's smarter to get them to buy the RV first, because a lot of the times if you buy the truck first, then the RV you might not fit the truck, right? Because if I buy a F-150 and I learn that I probably want a fifth wheel, you're slim pickings on the fifth wheels you can get on a F-150. You know what I mean? However, if I buy a fifth wheel, well, now I know that I need to buy a 250, 300, et cetera, across the board in terms of trucks. So a lot of the time, it doesn't really matter what truck they have. Maybe they already have a truck and then it'll matter, right? But I'm not going to dig into that specifically so much in the beginning. What I'm going to be asking is, hey, what are you going to be doing with the RV? Right? Because now what that would say is, oh, well, me and my wife, we plan on traveling. Like, we love to travel. We like to go to beaches. We like to see water. We like to go to the mountains. We ski and snowboard. So in the summertime, or I'm sorry, in the wintertime, we're thinking about going to different places. So what's happening now is you're learning what I'm going to do with it. Okay. And that's stronger than knowing what a budget is or what kind of truck they have. Does that make sense? Because now you're getting to my emotions. You're learning what I'm trying to accomplish. So if I tell you that me and my wife, hey, me and my wife, we're thinking about traveling, we're thinking about going places. We love the beach, we love the mountains, and we just want to start traveling. But, we both work so much that we don't really have the time right now. So we're thinking, 10 or 15 years, we'll be able to save up some money, start traveling. That's why we're buying in 15 years. So that's why we're in here today. Okay, great. So now you're getting an idea of what they want to do, right? So now what you would need to do is, what I call dig deeper, okay? Because that's not enough. Because what you did in the first go, I guess we'll say, is you would ask a question, and as soon as I gave you an answer, you'd go right to an RV. Okay, the 17BH would work for you, right? Well, you don't really know enough about what I'm trying to do to show me a 17BH. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because a motorhome might make the most sense for what I'm trying to do, right? A fifth wheel might make more sense because if I'm trying to go camping in snow, I probably need either a better built fifth wheel or possibly a motorhome. Travel trailers typically can't get it done in that cold of weather, right? Depending on your inventory and so on and so forth. So you really need to learn what the customer is trying to accomplish before you show an RV, and what that does subconsciously to your customer is it shows them that you actually care about their needs. So have you ever heard of rapport, building rapport with your customer?
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually building rapport. A lot of people will tell you that rapport is saying that our favorite sports team is the Browns, or we have the same truck that we drove in on, or we both like to go fishing. That's not rapport. Okay, so rapport, what in terms of a sales process, think about when you go and buy something. When we go to an expert, or we go to a doctor, or we go to a dentist, we go to them for good, real information about that expertise, right? We don't go to a doctor and say, hey, what do we need? And they tell us nothing when really we have something that needs to be addressed, right? And that's what people are coming to an RV specialist for. They're not coming to you to have the same sports team as you. They're not coming to you because you have the same truck. They're coming to you because you have a product that can solve a problem in their life, right? And the problems that RVs solve are traveling, memories, vacation, all of the fun things that are priceless. Okay. So that's very strong for you as an RV salesperson, because what you sell is priceless. And at the end of the day, we can't take our money with us. Okay. But the difference is, when you go straight to asking for budget, you go straight to asking for credit scores, or, you didn't ask for that, but just anything that has to do with the buying side of the deal to a customer, it feels like you're just trying to get a commission because you don't know what I want. You don't know what I'm trying to do. You don't know where I'm trying to go. You see what I'm saying? Like, you literally know nothing about what I'm trying to accomplish, but you're telling me that an RV would be perfect for me. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, it doesn't line up. You see what I mean? So to build real rapport, like to build rapport with a doctor, you go to a doctor, they tell you what you need to hear. And like, I'll give you an example of of a dentist. This actually happened to me. I went to one dentist. They tell me I have 5 cavities. It's going to cost $4,000 to get it fixed. I go to another dentist. They tell me I have 0 cavities. They show me the x-rays. They double check my teeth. They X, Y, and Z. They built real rapport with me because they showed me what I needed in that expertise, where the other one was just trying to get a commission. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Both dentists, both have their own process, but one showed me that they cared about me. The other showed me that they just wanted to fill my teeth with fillings, right? So as an RV salesperson, if someone comes to you and the first thing you say is, hey, what's your budget? Hey, this RV is going to work. You're going to feel like the dentist that's trying to just put 5 cavities in. If you have a customer that comes to you and you ask them, hey, what are you trying to do? Where are you trying to go? What are you trying to accomplish? Who are you going to be going with? What do you like to do while you're camping? Like questions, who, what, when, where, why, and how questions should always start with those. And then we dig deeper. So you'll ask, like in this example, you might say like, where are you guys going to be going? Oh, me and my wife, we plan on going to the beaches. We plan on going to the mountains. We ski, we snowboard, so on and so forth. Okay, great. How important it is to you to start traveling with your wife? Oh, well, it's actually very important for me to start traveling with my wife. We work 40, 80 hours a week. We barely get to vacation. I think the last vacation we went on was 3 years ago. We loved it. We had so much time. We still look at the pictures from that vacation. How did it feel? Now, this is digging deeper. How did it feel to get to go on vacation with your wife 3 years ago? Oh my God, man. It's like I said, we're still looking at pictures. We wish we could go back. We're always contemplating on vacationing, but we work 40 to 80 hours a week, so we don't have time to do it. Okay, well, what would it mean to you if you got to start traveling with your wife weekly? Oh man, that would mean the world to me. That would be amazing. My wife, I love her more than anything in this world. I actually hate that we work so much. And if I got to spend even just one more day a month with her and, kind of in the form of vacationing in a sense, it would mean the world to me. It'd be priceless. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So now what you're learning is a husband and wife. Now, this is the same scenario we were talking about earlier, but now you're learning it's a husband and wife that like to travel all year long. The last vacation they took together was 3 years ago. That's terrible. You see what I'm saying? Like you're learning all these intimate details about your customer, and this is building rapport. Because now as a salesperson, you can prescribe an RV that fixes these issues. Does that make sense? Because now what we can say is, once we learn all this and we learn, hey, where do you want to go? What does it mean to you? Like those deep meaning questions, not like what's your budget? You know what I mean? Like what's your credit score? What truck do you like? That's meaningless. You know what I mean? So now once we ask those questions and they say, hey, we want to travel, we want to do this, we want to do that. Now you have a picture. Okay, well, now I know they want to travel in the winter. So maybe they need a motorhome or a fifth wheel. You see what I'm saying? So now you can start to really build, and that's finding that product on the inventory sheet and lining that up. Because if you walk me from an 18 BH into a 24 BH into a 32, front living, then what that tells me without you saying anything is that you have no idea what I want. Does that make sense? You're just trying to like throw me into multiple RVs to see if hopefully I buy one, right? When really you need to do the work up front to learn the RV that they need and then show them that RV. Because then what happens when they walk into that RV, their eyes light up because it's literally what they're looking for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then once we take someone into that RV, it's very easy to get them back to the numbers because they're excited about it, right? You could say something like, for that couple, maybe it's a motorhome, because if they like to travel a lot, they don't have a lot of time. Maybe it's easy to throw a ski board and sneeze into a motorhome, go somewhere, come back. You know what I mean? So on and so forth. Maybe the budget's $500, probably can get a motorhome for that. Fifth wheel, it's going to be harder because they need a truck. They need a $750 a month truck if they don't buy it cash. So now, in a fifth wheel, we're like $1,300 a month, right? So now you're thinking about this in my mind while I'm learning what my customers need, so that once you see, oh, boom, $500, I have a Class A motorhome. It's a pre-owned that lines right up with what you need. So we're going to go look at the motorhome. Now, they might not even think that they ever needed a motorhome, but because you're the RV expert, you know what they need. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So you don't want to backpedal when you ask questions. You don't want to let your customers say, well, I don't want to tell you my name, and then you say, okay, no big deal. Because if you went to a doctor like that, they'd be like, no, what's your name? I need to know your name. You see what I'm saying? Because they're a professional, they're controlling the deal, they're an expert in their field. When you let people get past your questions or dictate your process, what that tells them is that you're not really an expert. Does that make sense? And because you're not an expert, can I trust your information? This is questions a customer subconsciously has, whether they bring it up to you or not, because of the interaction. And then once you give that feel from the very beginning, it gets worse as the sale goes on, especially if you start only asking questions that has to do with them buying something. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So what we need to do is slow it down in the beginning and really take control of the sale, and then really learn exactly what they're looking for by asking those questions and by digging deep. And then once we do that, and now you go out and you show the one motorhome that makes sense, now you say something like, hey, let's go in and take a look at the numbers. Okay, great. Because remember, in the introduction, we told them we're going to show them the numbers. We'll sit them down. Now this is when we ask, would it be titled, right? We sit them down. We show them the numbers. Hey, who would, if you bought this today, who would it be titled under, you or both of you? Oh, both of us. Okay, spell your name for me. Beautiful. John Smith, Jane Doe. What's your address? What county? All the different things you ask in your write-up. Now we go down. We, write it up. Okay, so this is your out the door price. It's going to cost you, $50,000, or roughly $300 to $300 a month, $500 a month. Whatever your breakdowns are. You know what I mean? And finance can probably tell you every 10,000 on a motorhome is $100, or you know what I mean, something like that. I would tell you to link up with finance to learn that stuff if you don't know the numbers yet. And then, $500 a month. Boom. Now we know we have the motorhome that's perfect. It lines up at $500 a month. And now we can say something like, John, Jane, you guys haven't taken a vacation in 3 years. You said that camping, you said that traveling together is priceless. You said that it means the world to you, and that you would love to start even just spending one more day a month together. Buying this RV today is going to allow you to spend one, if not multiple days together on a monthly basis. You'll be able to travel to the beach, to the mountains. You can take your snowboard and your skis everywhere you want to go, and you can start traveling today. Sign right here, buy this RV. Okay, see how much stronger that close is? Because now their emotions are invested. They're thinking like, what, Jane? We haven't taken a vacation in 3 years. We should spend more time together. We could do that with this RV. The price lines up perfectly. Let's just buy this today. You see how you eliminated all of the objections before they got to the close? That's what's going to create a one-day close. So what I would tell you to do is slow down the beginning and start asking better questions. Questions that are designed to get to your customer's emotions so that you can really dial in that customer. And in turn, that's going to build more rapport, because when you're asking those kinds of questions, what you're basically saying to your customer subconsciously is that I care about you. I care about your needs. I care about your wants. I want to learn about what you're trying to accomplish. And if you look up the definition of rapport, I'm not sure if you saw this episode or not, but the dictionary definition of rapport is a close and harmonious relationship in which the people or groups concerned understand each other's feelings or ideas and communicate well. So close and harmonious. So, that isn't, it's not your favorite sports team. You know what I mean? It's not the fact that we fish together. That's not close and harmonious. Close and harmonious is knowing the goals, the ambitions, the drive, what my customers want to do, what they want to accomplish, what they haven't done before, what makes them tick, what makes them wake up in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, that's close and harmonious. And by asking the questions who, what, when, where, why, and how, that's what we're doing. So that's why we're building real rapport when we're digging past surface level and we're asking questions like that, because it shows our customer that we actually care about what they actually care about, right? And when we show them that we care what they care about, then they can do business with us. Now they don't feel bad for giving us a commission because we're their doctor. You see what I'm saying? We're their dentist. We're the person that brings fun to their life, right? So that's what I would say would be the biggest thing that I would change, is really dig into what makes your customers tick, because then when you show the RV, it's going to be easy to get them back to the beginning. And in the beginning, if they say, well, we don't want you to ask us questions, what you can say is, well, I hear what you're saying, but the reason we ask you questions here at Camping World is because we really want to learn exactly the RV you're looking for so that we can show you things that line up. We've had customers in the past that try, and we get them every day, that try to trade in a brand new 2022 fifth wheel because their salesperson didn't sell them the right RV. Now what's happening is they're trying to trade in a 2022 fifth wheel, and they can't do it because they have $50,000 in negative equity in the thing. And no one's going to roll $50,000 in negative equity into a new unit. So they're stuck with an RV that doesn't make sense. So the reason that we ask you questions here at Camping World is so that doesn't happen to you. Does that make sense? Does that sound fair enough? Right. And now a customer has to say, yeah, that sounds fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So, I think that's really where, if I had to, even just going through that 15 minutes that we went through, whatever it was, I think that's your biggest issue, because you were going right to buying questions. You were going right to a unit, and then you were just hopping in and out of units, hoping that I'd tell you, yeah, I'm going to buy this one. It's never going to happen. So, I mean, what do you think? Do you think that information makes sense to what you're doing in your sales process? Do you see what I'm saying there?
That definitely makes sense. I'm just not used to that because it's not what they want, you know what I mean, in a sense, but it doesn't matter because it's going to work out better, so.
And that's the thing is, and in sales, it might not be what they want, but it is what they want, because they want you to close deals. And the reason that they tell you that's not what they want is because a lot of places, and it's not your fault, it's not their fault, a lot of dealerships, there's so much turnover that there's not much training, and it's really sink or swim. So they go through so many people to find the good salespeople, and the good salespeople are selling like this. Okay, so they don't train them to sell like this. They just happen to find them because they hire and fire so many people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, it's not their fault. They just don't have processes, maybe, or don't care. I don't want to say they don't care, but at the end of the day, I've never been to a dealership that actually trains you. It's not, specific to camping world. It's literally car dealerships, RV dealerships, boat. It don't matter what dealership you're in. Most of the time, you're not getting quality training. They'll typically give you maybe access to like a video training program. And a lot of the video training programs are outdated with kind of some of that rebuttal style sales where it's almost like punch them back in the face as opposed to getting to the real objection. But I found over the years in sales that if you're able to show your customer you care about them and you want to solve issues that they're having in their life, then they're okay with giving you a commission, whether it's big or small. You know what I mean? Because you've actually added value to their life instead of tried to, take a commission. So, I think that if you just start asking those questions and start closing more deals, they're not going to care. And that's typically how dealerships are. So, they might be, and what do they tell you the process should be like? Like they want you to go straight to the budget questions, straight to the buying questions.
Yep, yep. But that doesn't make sense to me, like you're explaining. It makes more sense to build that rapport up front and just
Yeah. And I
yeah,
would just say then you can still get it up front, but make it one of the last questions you ask them.
yeah.
You see what
That's what
I'm
I was kind
saying?
of thinking at this point.
Yeah, so you say, "Hey, what are you trying to do? Where are you trying to go? Blah 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 blah." And then once you learn that, wait, how much were you guys thinking to spend, whether it be a monthly payment or in cash? Well, we haven't really thought about it. Well, just give me a ballpark: $500 a month, $1,000 a month. And what I'll do when someone doesn't give me numbers is I will like if someone doesn't give me their credit score, hey, just a ballpark. What do you like, a 400? And then they're going to get somewhat mad, but I say it playfully, if that makes sense. Hey, just give me a ballpark. What do you like, a 400? Oh, no, Chris, I'm a fucking 750. Are you kidding me? Oh, great. That's what I thought you were. I was just curious. You know what I mean? And so you can do it like that. Like if they won't give you a monthly payment. Oh, okay. Well, let me 1,500 a month. Oh, no way, Chris. Probably like 700. You see what I'm saying? So you really I'll just say something ridiculous
Yeah.
to get them to just have fun with me and then still get what I'm trying, still get the answer I'm looking for.
Would it work backwards too if it's like, oh yeah, someone like you has to have 700 credit, and then wait for their eyes to go like deer in headlights? Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, yes and no, because then what happens is they don't feel as good.
I got
Because
you.
then they go from a 7 to a 650 and
Yeah,
they feel like you're degrading them.
yeah, yeah.
If I
There you
say,
go.
"Oh, what do you got, like a 400?" And they're like, "Oh no, Chris, I got a 600." Well, it's still 200 than I thought. Exciting, great. You see what I'm saying? So I always want to leave them feeling nice. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I do the same thing to trades. Like if someone tells me they have a trade right from the very beginning, I'm going to tell them, like if someone comes in with a 2022 RV trade fifth wheel, and I know that what they spent 50, 75, $100,000 on that thing, I'm going to tell them, listen, probably worth 20. It's probably worth 10. They're going to be like, dude, you're fucking insane. And I'm like, listen, I'm just letting you know that's probably what it's worth. We had a guy last week trade in something like this for $20,000. I'm just letting you know. And I'm letting them know that we had a guy last week traded in because it validates that other people are doing it. So if you do it, it's just like everybody else. You see what I'm saying? But I'm just letting you know. Because then when I come back and I'm like, hey, it's worth 25. Hey, I
Uh,
told you, and I gave you $5,000 more.
I got you.
Congratulations!
I
I got
got you.
great news for you. It's worth 25,000, not 20. See what I'm saying? So as opposed to the other way, if they're like, yeah, I need to get 75,000 out of this thing. You know what I mean? Then I'm just gonna be like, dude, it's probably worth 20. You see what I'm saying? Because
Right.
I'm addressing it now because I know that it's gonna be an issue and it needs to be addressed. And I'm just gonna hey, probably worth 10, because if you're thinking it's worth 70, I'm coming all the way down to really just bring your sights back in line with really what it's really worth, because your brain,
reality.
it's not worth 70. You'll be lucky if it's worth 50. It's probably worth 35, 40. You know what I mean? So if that, pending, especially in the market we're in, it's pretty wild. So hopefully you got something from that. And if you want to do some more role plays, we can keep rocking and rolling.
Oh,
I
I
know you're
will.
new to
Yeah.
RV sales, so if you want to line up, you want to do another one now, or do you want to
Oh,
do
I need to
one later
process
on?
that. I need to process all that.
Okay,
I do
so
want to
we'll
do
let
one
you.
next week though. I like one a week. It's kind of what I was going for.
We can do that. So
Yeah.
let me know you let me know your times, and then we'll get one locked in for next week. Use this information while you're at the dealership this week. We'll reconvene. We'll see how it's working for you, and we'll just keep doing this so that way you can start closing some deals.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, Chris. I feel like I learned more in these 30-ish minutes than I have the whole last week, doing my sales. So
Perfect, perfect. Hey, well, I think that these will speed up your they I know that they'll speed up your learning curve. So let's set up a time, shoot me an email. We'll get it locked in for next week. We'll do another role play. And hopefully you'll close one in between time, and you'll be able to come back next week and be like, dude, I just closed this customer doing that exact same thing. Because what you'll find is when you get good at it, you can turn customers that were buying in 10 years into buyers today, and they're going to thank you for it because they haven't vacationed in 3 years. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
listen, John, listen, Jane, you might not be here in another 5. What are you going to do when you die and you didn't travel yet? You're going to do nothing. You're going to have you're going to have none of what you're talking about here. See what I'm saying?
yeah.
So sign right here. Buy this RV. Stop torturing yourself. Start living your life. And that's the benefit of an RV salesman, is you hold the keys to priceless things. So you can sell anyone. So yeah, shoot me that email. I appreciate you for being here. If you've been watching, thanks for watching. If you're a sales manager, GM, if you're a dealership, make sure you give me a call directly. My agency can get you sales training for your sales team, and we can get you more customer leads for your sales team. So whether you need more customers or better sales training, give me a call directly, 330-703-3930. Again, 330-703-3930. Also, Kahlil, if you want to get into our RV sales training program, you can do that at sellmorelivemore.net. It's only like $9 a month or $100 for the whole program, and it goes A to Z for RV sales. It's literally built for RV sales, and it's not that expensive. So you could get some training that way too if you want to hop on that.
Awesome. It's a video course, right?
Video training course. Yep. It's on sellmorelivemore.net. You can get the link in the description. I'll also shoot it to you in email. That way you can check it out, see if it's something you want to, join up with.
Thank you.
You got it. So, hey, Kahlil, I'll see you next week. Closing the deal for us in between.
Yep.
Everybody that's joined us, thank you for being here. We'll see you on the next one.